have been following football for the past 17 years, or soccer, as a great nation called America call it.
Oh, it's a soccer ball.
It's not a soccer ball. It's a football.
Okay, first of all,
it's a football. In America, what do they call it? American football. You hardly run with it, you throw it. This is a football. You kick it with your feet. Football. Yeah?
No.
Yes.
It is a soccer ball.
And you're probably by now aware of the long-standing rivalry between Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, arguably two of the greatest football players to ever grace the game. Two players with completely different personalities.
Sweet.
Two players with a huge following. Two players that have riled up passionate debates. And two players that have accomplished everything the beautiful game can offer. Well, almost. But why would it seem, from a neutral standpoint, that one is so beloved by the public and the other supposedly isn't and is constantly criticized? In this video, we will examine why this could be the case. During my university days, I remember I was kicked out of my original acting performance year group into a completely different one. Now, the sugar-coated reason, or what others heard, was that there was an imbalance of the number of pupils in each class. But the real reason in which I got kicked out of my original class was because I expressed my internal thoughts and opinions, which weren't always true, which were disrespectful and inconsiderate of how it could impact others. In other words, what I sometimes said offended people. I didn't know this at first, why I was kicked out. My victimhood and lack of accountability would cloud my assessment of things, until a housemate told me that I didn't always create the best impression on people through his observations, which really opened my eyes. He explained that in life, we have to make good impressions on people. I'd argue that this is somewhat achieved through diplomacy, managing good relations with people, organizations, or governments without offending them, knowing when and when not to say something. During the evolution of mankind, about 300,000 years ago, I'd argue that diplomacy was a human's best chance of survival. I use that anecdote to draw to the fact that I once behaved like Cristiano Ronaldo, so I can somewhat understand. Cristiano doesn't necessarily help himself in achieving diplomacy with the mainstream media, hence the supposed backlash. My impression of Ronaldo is that although he is an incredibly fantastic footballer and one of the greatest of all time, his hubris isn't admirable and obstructs his diplomacy. Diplomacy, hubris. Let's take a look at some of the examples.
Wayne Rooney,
For example.
who you played with for many years very successfully and were good friends with him, and yet all this year, 3 or 4 times, he's come out and attacked you in the media. Is it jealousy as well, perhaps, that you're still playing and still in the Man United
Probably,
red shirt?
because he finished his career with 30s, so I'm still playing high level. I'm not gonna say that I'm looking better than him, which is true, but...
The video in which Piers was discussing with Ronaldo was when Wayne Rooney, who at that time was DC United manager, was asked about Ronaldo and his situation at Manchester United. Now, I can't play the video because of copyrighted music, but put short, Wayne Rooney merely highlighted that he understood through knowing Cristiano Ronaldo in the past that Ronaldo would find it difficult sitting on the bench and that he knew Ronaldo would love to play every minute of every game. Rooney went on to commend Ronaldo for his incredible career. Rooney then highlighted that age catches up with everyone and that Ronaldo is no longer 23, but now 37, and sympathized with him, saying it's tough, come to terms with that, and being on the bench. Rooney ended the short interview by encouraging Ronaldo to try and get back into the team. So in my opinion, Ronaldo's petulant response to Wayne Rooney's constructive criticism of him, such as he finished his career in his 30s, and I'm not going to say that I'm looking better than him, obviously taking a dig at Wayne Rooney's weight, isn't diplomatic in any way, shape or form. Alexander Pope once wrote, "To err is human, to forgive divine. We all make mistakes. We aren't perfect," which also means that we should be open to constructive criticism, which is intended to improve our lives in whatever profession we pursue. Through my observations, Ronaldo's diplomacy isn't the only problem. His hubris also gets in the way of him exercising diplomacy. As an athlete, there should be a level of humility and sportsmanship within you, because nothing is guaranteed. You're a role model for younger aspiring footballers. When they see good examples of humility and sportsmanship, it inspires devotion within them. One can be confident and respectful at the same time and not go too overboard.
Are you the best footballer in the world right now?
I think so, yes. In my mind, I'm always the best.
Tell me who's the best player in the world. Me.
Especially when, in the opinions of many, and perhaps a neutral observer, one isn't the greatest of all time. Perhaps one's hubris clouds one's own reality and perception of things. Let's take a look at how the rival player responds to similar questions posed.
Is this the debate over? Are you now officially the greatest?
Bueno, tampoco fue un pensamiento que tuve durante toda mi carrera, ni
Well, it wasn't a thought I had throughout my career, nor was I looking for that. The mere fact of being considered among the names of people thinking or saying, being among those, whatever, 10, 5, 3, whoever they want, it's already crazy. I never played soccer for that. But obviously, I'm grateful that people think that way. And honestly, I don't give importance to whatever position it is.
Leo Messi's response to the similar questions posed is done in such a way that is both diplomatic and non-hubris. It's done in such a way that watchers of football grow to admire Messi's level of humility.
In soccer, of course, you've had this perennial discussion about, Messi versus Ronaldo. I don't really think there is a debate. Messi's much better. But I admire his humility, right? Because if there ever was someone who should have a chip on his shoulder, it should be Messi, probably the most famous person in the world who's done it all. And yet he really walks around as though he's nobody. On the other hand, Ronaldo is a big showboat. If you ask Ronaldo who's the greatest player ever, he'll say, it's me. Whereas if you ask Messi, he'll list 10 people and he won't put himself on that list. And so there is a way by which he engages in his personal conduct that I think is really admirable, that, he truly is a role model.
Right. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Rather than showing respect towards your opponents in which you lost against, you troll around like a 15-year-old girl, constantly attempting to defame the high achievements of your rival by any means possible. Let's examine the other side, shall we? As perspective and understanding are key factors in navigating through life. Is it good for one to be confident? Absolutely. But one doesn't let overconfidence consume one to the point of being out of touch with reality. Are the media and people in general harsh on Ronaldo? Yes and no. Yes, he's a world-famous footballer earning millions of euros. Of course, he's going to be under constant scrutiny and fabricated lies spun by journalists. And no, because he doesn't exactly help himself in the way he presents himself to the public, drawing back to my original words, diplomacy and hubris. His hubris gets in the way of being diplomatic, which doesn't create a good image in the public eye. Further examining the other side, we, the general public, don't really know what's going on in his personal life, nor do we know the private battles in which he faces. It is on us as humans to acknowledge the fact that he is only human. What if he was to be related to one of us? Would we want our loved ones to be scrutinized to such an extent? I don't think so. But what are your thoughts? Should Ronaldo conduct himself in a way that is more diplomatic and less prideful? Or are we being too critical of him? What are your thoughts? Thoughts, comments, concerns? Put it down below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you next time.